So I'm going to hit search, and it comes up with a fairly decent list of stocks here. And if you do basically I just sort it by EPS, so that the stocks that have the best earnings of the bunch are at the top of the list, and then I just start to go through them. Now all of these, the volatilities are in the low 30s, mid 20s. So then I kind of take a look and see which ones may be potentially good candidates. Now you can also sort these by volume. Obviously the Qs we've gone through, Microsoft, Intel, I don't know. I like to search by EPS. It gives me some of the sleepers out there, like McDonald's, maybe MCD. And then all you have to do is bring up your gamma trading worksheet and just start to enter the information in there and see if you have any potential candidates. As you can see, I've added a few since I last did an update here, and there's a couple of potential candidates in here. Adobe may be a candidate. It's in the middle of its range for historical volatility, though. A couple others here that I've kind of been looking at, but if you don't want to just go by your own list or maybe newspaper lists or something like that, then using the Stock Hacker tab in Thinkorswim will help you determine the best stocks, really. At least you can start doing analysis on those and start listing them into your analysis spreadsheet. Anyway, just a quick update for you. Hope that helps. I want to bring to your attention some of the finer points of gamma scalping and the reason why we go after low volatility stocks and stocks that are low volatility but have a high range. I've done an analysis on a number of different stocks as we continue to go down. However, take a look at the range here on AVP, and one of the reasons why it became one of our top picks. The range was 11.12 on the day that we did this, with an intraday move of approximately 58 cents, which was somewhat on the high end of the stocks that we had looked at. There was a couple others that were higher, but they also had higher volatility. And the price of the straddle. So our gamma scalping analysis worksheet really helps you stay out of trouble when it comes to both buying the straddle and finding stocks that have a high probability of moving. One of the reasons why we pick stocks with low volatility with a wide range and a fairly decent price on the straddle is because volatility can affect the price of the straddle in your favor if it moves up and against you if it moves down. So if you were to pick a stock with a high volatility, even though it has a much wider range to move in, the potential, if that stock stops moving, the volatility will collapse and you will lose money. Let me show you what I mean. You can see that even though the stock AVP, our stock that we're currently gamma scalping, has moved up, volatility has gone up slightly. I mean, it's only a matter of maybe 2 points in volatility, but let me show you what the current straddle is selling for. If we go to buy our current straddle, the one that we already have, you can see that it's currently at $3.53. Well, we bought it for $3.10. It's gone up, almost, about 43 cents from where we bought it. So a lot of the profit has come from the fact that the volatility has increased. Remember, we mentioned that the Vega is a very powerful Greek. In fact, if volatility goes up a single point, Vega will increase our profits by $53. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. Volatility has increased, increasing our profits in this issue. So if we pick up a stock with a high volatility and the stock doesn't move, our volatility will get crushed. Not only will we lose money on the theta, but we'll also lose money on the Vega. That's why, you may think that not doing this worksheet will save you some money or save you some time. I don't know what's going through your mind right now, but I mean, if you think that you can get away with not doing this worksheet and just going out and picking a stock to gamma trade, I think you're going to be sorry if you do. You really need to go through the worksheet to find the very best candidates with the lowest volatility, historical volatility rating, and the highest profit index. If you do that, it'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Okay, just a quick update. I'm going to narrow down, I'm looking at narrowing down two more gamma scalping candidates. One is Adobe and the other is CMed. I've checked them both. They're both easy to borrow. Their profit index is about the same, but about $1.51, $1.54 for CMed. They're both in the mid part of their volatility ranges. They both have good range probability. CMed is quite a bit more expensive at the money straddle than Adobe is. But as far as the range index and the cost index, they're pretty similar. Adobe's a little bit cheaper, obviously, because it's a slightly lower price stock with a higher profit range. So I'm either going to go for one of these. My feeling is that Adobe would probably be a very good bet. But China Medical here over the past 60 days, it is at the lower end of the volatility range for the last 60 days for CMed. And if we kind of drill down into some of these issues, even though they appear to be on the mid end of the range on their daily charts on the last 60 days or so, on the hourly charts, they seem to be close to the low end of their range here. So either CMed or Adobe Systems either one would be a pretty good candidate to go with. And my feeling is that Adobe looks like it's very good. CMed concerns me a little bit because it is pretty expensive and it's had a pretty good run up, and I'm just afraid it's going to be it's not going to move as much anymore because it's already been up and down so much. So, but it's probably a fairly good candidate to keep an eye on. So I'm going to go ahead and put an order in for Adobe. The only thing I want to check before I do that is just to get an idea where the Dow Jones is and see what the volatility is like on the Dow Jones. It was up and it's starting to come down just a little bit. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Looks like we've got somewhat of a reversal going on in the Dow Jones, which could reduce volatility across stocks. And the only other thing I want to check is to see if earnings are coming up for either Adobe or ChineMed in the next couple of days. Yeah, there's not one today. Let's see. Adobe, I think they already had theirs, didn't they? ADB. And CMed. I'd probably just go on the chart and take a look at it, but yeah, CMed's coming up on August 4th. So there may be an increase in volatility to August 4th for CMed here. Kind of hard to tell.